Neo-Kyoto was a city of vertical ambition and horizontal poverty, a sprawling monument to Omnicorp's iron rule, where the neon never quite managed to penetrate the smog. Up in the pristine, rain-slicked towers, the elites lived wired lives of synthetic perfection, while below, the sprawl was a chaotic symphony of human flesh and rusted chrome. Syra was one of the sprawl's ghosts, a freelance data courier, an occasional netrunner, her existence defined by speed, stealth, and the forbidden tech bolted to her skull. Her most valuable asset was the chrome eye, a military-grade optical implant that pulsed with a faint, internal blue light visible only in the deepest shadows. The eye was a legally sourced a piece of black market hardware that let her see network traffic. Biometric signatures and subaudible corporate come scrolling across her vision. For years, the eye had been her shield, her weapon, and her identity, transforming the chaotic world into manageable, exploitable streams of data. She trusted the hardware more than she trusted any human, knowing that flesh decayed but silicon, if properly maintained, remained ruthlessly logical. Her current assignment was the biggest risk yet, delivering a highly encrypted corporate package that could either secure her freedom or buy her a permanent residence in the recycler. The buyer was unknown. The payment was an untraceable crypto, and the package detail, a sliver of ancient, unaugmented human nerve tissue, was unnerving. The eye, her perfect tool, had begun to betray her. It had started to glitch. The first signs were subtle. A flicker of red static in her peripheral vision when the local power grid surged, or a momentary delay in processing facial recognition data. She tried running diagnostics late one night, patching into her own system via a cracked optical terminal in a darkened, derelict maintenance bay. The self-diagnosis yielded an alarming result. The neural interface was suffering from sensory overflow, a term usually reserved for biomods trying to handle psychic input. "You're running too hot, Syra," muttered Vex, her current tech fixer, a man whose hands were permanently stained with grease and cheap synth-think. Vex was a relic of the old world, believing that a machine was only as good as the organic interface it served. He mistrusted all forms of wireless integration. Syra scoffed, tapping the sleek metal casing above her cheekbone. "It's military spec, Vex. It doesn't run hot. It needs a driver update, not a sermon on humanity." Vex just shook his head, his own eyes unaugmented and cloudy, meeting hers. "The body and the wire, Syra. The wire always forgets the body. That eye is reading something real." She ignored him, but the next glitch was undeniable, while tracking a surveillance drone. The eye superimposed the faded memory of her own biological mother's face over the drone's infrared profile. Syra hadn't thought about her bio-parents in a decade since she traded her fragile childhood eye for the cold, efficient chrome one. The memory was an unauthorized data point. It was contaminating her operational space. It was flesh leaking into the wire. The only person who understood the eye's architecture besides Syra was Jox, the elusive cyber sculptor who had installed it and then vanished into the deep net. Jox was the anti-Vex, a genius who pushed augmentation beyond utility into pure, terrifying art. He understood the soul's place in the machine. Syra needed him now, desperately. She risked a trace on his last known crypto key, pinging a message into the most dangerous sector of the deep net. The reply came quickly, not as text, but as a chilling, encrypted video feed of a flickering alleyway, followed by a timestamp. The sprawl was a place where appointments meant life or death. Jox's locations were always places where the line between the two was thinnest. She met him in the belly of the city, in a derelict server farm, where the humidity made the air feel heavy and metallic. Jox looked less like a tech genius and more like a ghost, clad in patched black leather, his only obvious mod being a series of glowing blue fiber optics woven into his dreadlocks. Syra Jox greeted her, his voice a low, modulated hum. "The eye we made is complaining." "Why?" Syra explained the sensory overload, the unexpected emotional data, the phantom flicker of her mother's face. Jox immediately focused a laser pointer unaugmented, just a simple red beam onto her eye. "You're not overloading, Syra. You're unlocking." He explained that the eye wasn't just an optical device. It had a secondary hidden protocol to capture and integrate the wearer's residual empathy signatures. The glitch wasn't a failure of hardware, but a success of the hidden. Organic software, a backdoor built by Jox to keep the wearer human. Omnicorp programmed their tech to erase the flesh. I programmed mine to remind you, he explained, his eyes piercing through her mask of composure. Syra felt a wave of icy cold fear. If Omnicorp detects that human signature, they'll fry the eye and half my brain with it. Jox nodded grimly. Which is why you're here. They are detecting it. The package you're running? It's bait. The package was the nerve tissue, a highly prized artifact from the unaugmented age. Omnicorp wanted to catch the runner and reclaim the eyes tech for their own sterile modifications. Syra realized her mission was a trap, orchestrated by her own past employer, the very corporation she'd run from. The meet for the package delivery was set for the rooftop of the Omnicorp Nexus, the most secure data-rich tower in Neo-Kyoto. It was a suicide run, but Syra had to go. She couldn't abandon the eye, because it was now inextricably fused with who she was. Jox offered the ultimate upgrade, a physical override key, a small sliver of carbon fiber that could manually decouple the eye from the Omnicorp network. If the glitch hits 0, you pull this key. It will blind you, but it will save your mind, Jox instructed, placing the key in her palm. The decision felt impossibly heavy. Blindness meant dependence, vulnerability, and the complete loss of her wire-powered identity. Syra took the key. The body, she whispered over the wire. She ascended the Nexus, bypassing biometric scanners and firewall layers. Her eye working in hyper mode, the raw data flashing too quickly for any normal brain to process. The glitch returned with a vengeance. The corporate data streams overlaid with fragments of human experience. A child's laughter, the smell of rain, the warmth of a fire. The beautiful precision of the chrome vision was dissolving into terrifying raw emotion. She reached the rooftop penthouse, where the air was thin and sterilized, overlooking the polluted sprawl below. Waiting for her was Agent Zero, Omnicorp's chief security officer, a figure whose body was almost entirely synthetic chrome and flawless white plating. Syra, Agent Zero's synthetic voice was cold and hollow. Welcome home. Hand over the package in the eye. The eye detected a massive electromagnetic pulse EMP, charging beneath Zero's plating, a localized blast designed to fry her tech and leave her a lobotomized vegetable. Zero didn't want the data. She wanted the technology of the eye, the hidden code that celebrated human imperfection. The eye belongs to me, Zero, Sarah retorted, clutching the carbon fiber key in her left hand. You belong to Omnicorp, Zero corrected, raising her arm. Your life is a debt payable in hardware. The EMP charge accelerated. Syra didn't hesitate. She threw the small package, the nerve tissue, directly at Zero's unaugmented face. Zero, programmed for logic, stumbled slightly in shock at the primal, messy nature of the attack. That second was all Syra needed. She plunged the carbon fiber key into the hidden port behind her ear. The sensation was agonizing. Felt like her consciousness was being ripped in two, the wire being violently severed from the body. Her vision died instantly. The chrome eye went black, leaving her with the raw, imperfect, vulnerable sight of her single, organic right eye. The glitch was gone, replaced by blessed darkness. The neural spike was replaced by simple human pain. Zero fired the EMP. The massive blast fried every piece of exposed tech in the penthouse, the surveillance cameras, the lighting grid, and Zero's communications link. But Syra, now mostly flesh, was spared. She fell to the ground, blinded by the sudden loss of her secondary vision, relying only on instinct. Zero, infuriated by the failure and blinded by the loss of her own enhanced sensors, lunged. Syra ducked, feeling the whoosh of Zero's razor-sharp synthetic fingers passing inches from her face. She fought not with data or targeting algorithms, but with muscle memory and a primal scream of survival that came from her body, not her motherboard. She scrambled toward the edge of the rooftop, desperate to reach the service elevator before Zero recovered. Zero pinned her, the cold, smooth chrome body pressing down on Syra's frantic, vulnerable flesh. You traded godhood for weakness, Syra, Zero sneered, her synthetic grip tightening around Syra's neck. At that moment, Syra felt a new, terrifying spike in her neck, a searing pain where the eye used to connect. It was Zero's hand attempting a direct neural breach, seeking to upload a kill code directly into Syra's spinal column. Syra thrashed, remembering Vex's warning. The wire always forgets the body. The cold, hard logic of the machine was trying to claim her, but the body fought back. Years of running, jumping, and fighting, powered by blood and adrenaline, were superior to Zero's cold, calculated movements. Cyra found a discarded piece of structural metal, a simple, sharp piece of unaugmented day brand, slammed it into Zero's primary actuator joint. The strike was crude, non-digital, and devastatingly effective. Chrome shrieked as metal ground against metal. Oh. Zero's grip faltered, and she stumbled back, her arm frozen mid-breach. Cyra rolled, crawling toward the elevator door, gasping for breath, the smell of ozone and blood filling her single good nostril. Just as the elevator opened, a figure emerged, silhouetted against the dark drop of the city. Jox. Jox wasn't just there to observe. He was carrying a massive, rusted, coil-gun old tech that Zero's high-end sensors completely ignored. "I told you the body needs protection," Jox said. "Not to Zero, but to Cyra." Jox fired. The coil gun projectile was slow, heavy, and shielded from electronic countermeasures. It hit Zero in the center of her chrome chest plate with the force of a small truck, sending her reeling over the edge of the Nexus tower. The silence that followed was total, absolute, and gloriously human. Cyra pulled herself into the elevator, collapsing into Jox's arms. She was physically bruised, temporarily deafened, and gloriously alive. "The eye?" Jox asked gently, seeing the empty dead socket where the implant had been. "Gone. The glitch one." "But the body survived," Cyra managed, feeling the raw texture of his worn leather jacket against her face. They descended quickly, leaving the perfect, sterile horror of the Omnicorp Nexus behind. Down in the grime and steam of the sprawl, they found sanctuary in Jox's underground workshop, a place where messy life thrived alongside modified tech. Jox looked at her single, frightened organic eye. "No more wire, Cyra, just flesh and fear." "No," Cyra corrected, reaching out and touching his cheek, tracing the line of his fiber optics. "The wire is still there, Jox. It's just now connected by choice, not corporate mandate." She realized the glitch wasn't the enemy. It was the frantic effort of her humanity trying to break through the cold, flawless hardware. The eye had made her feel untouchable. The loss of it made her feel real. Jox smiled, a genuine, messy, human expression that made her heart that wonderfully, uselessly organic pump ache. He wouldn't replace the eye. Instead, he would sculpt a custom optical patch, a piece of art that honored the scar, not the machine. Their bond was now cemented not by shared code or compatible hardware, but by shared trauma and the mutual understanding of life lived dangerously close to the abyss. Cyra, the former netrunner who saw the world in code, now saw it in shades of raw, unaugmented, beautiful color. Her new life would be harder, slower, and infinitely more dangerous without the Chrome Eye's power, but it would be hers. The body had finally defeated the wire's control. They watched the neon spill over the city, fugitives embracing the imperfect truth of their humanity. Thank you for watching this story from Storycraft Studio. If Cyra and Jox's rebellion against the machine resonated with you, please like this video, share it with fellow Cyberpunk fanatics, and subscribe to Storycraft Studio channel for more stories.